Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's Diego with another fantastic video. It is June 2nd, 2026. June 2nd, 2026. We're enjoying the summer. Now, this video is about President Trump's decision to start closing embassies and consulates in Africa. Pay attention, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Very important. Now, the State Department plans to cut the number of U.S. embassies and consulates in Africa that process visas for foreigners, K-1 visas, spousal visas, etc. And those folks who are seeking to come to the United States, obviously, right? Now, this almost 50 U.S. embassies and consulates that are processing visa applications will be reduced to 20 in the next coming weeks, in June, according to U.S. officials and an internal memo that was obtained by the AP, or the Associated Press. Okay. Now, there's no set date for the change, but it is expected in June of 2026, according to the officials, who are not authorized to comment to the media, and they spoke on the condition of anonymity. Yeah, I've heard that before, right? Over and I can't tell you this, but this is what it is. Now, this is a move, is part of President Trump's effort to crack down on issuing both immigrant and non-immigrant visas, K-1 visas, a non-immigrant visa, as part of its broader aim to limit immigration into the United States. And they're trying to clamp down on those who travel on temporary visas, student visas, tourist visas, temporary work visas, and then they overstay on these visas and don't go back to their home country. Okay? So the administration is scaling back personnel at these embassies and consulates around the world. So they've already started the process of removing people from these embassies, who process visas. And there was a conference call last Friday, okay, which was in May, with U.S. diplomats, including a consulate chief. And they were told the U.S. would be scaling back its visa services across Africa, according to one of the officials who was on the call. Notice the trend here. It's always Africa, Africa, Africa. Now, under a directive approved by Secretary of State Marco Rubio last week, which was in May, the end of May, the State Department will reduce consular operations in all but 20 hubs in Africa, according to the officials and the memo. So visa processing in Africa has already been affected by a travel ban on certain countries, okay, as well as a requirement for applicants to post up to a $15,000 bond in order to apply. That's just, those are talking about tourist visas, and more recently by restrictions caused by the Ebola outbreak. So basically, the Trump administration is focusing solely on African countries. Now, the new rules mean that a citizen of a non-hub country will have to travel to one of the 20 approved sites, which could pose a formidable travel challenge, and it's very expensive also, airplane costs, hotel costs, etc. So they're consolidating down to make it much harder for people from African nations to get their K-1 visas and spousal visas, green cards, etc. Now, the consular sections in these non-hub countries will stay open, but they're only going to be limited in the services that they can offer, primarily towards American citizens who are in those countries. Okay? They will still be able to assist American citizens with a passport renewal and emergency consular requests, as well as like special national interest cases and diplomatic visa applications. Now, my recommendation, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, is before you file a K-1 visa, if you are dating somebody, you're in a relationship with somebody from Africa, hold off on filling out the K-1 visa application until you know which consulate you can send them to for adjudication. Now, the State Department did not address the specific issues in the memo, but it said it is constantly evaluating its overseas operations in order to deploy taxpayer resources in a way that advances America's priorities as efficiently and effectively as possible. And that includes a visa process. And they're maintaining a rigorous standards of the security screening and the vetting, and they are basically directing their resources and operational capacity with America's national interests. Well, if that was the case, then that would be on every embassy in the world, right? Not just Africa. Now, according to the memo, the 20 hubs to remain open for all processing are Abidjan, I can't pronounce it, Ivory Coast, Accra, okay, so it's Abidjan, Ivory Coast, Accra, Ghana, Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, Cape Town, South Africa, Dakar, Senegal, Dar es Salaam in Tanzania, Djibouti in Djibouti, Johannesburg in South Africa, Kampala in Uganda, Kigali in Rwanda, Kinshasa in the Congo, Lagos, Nigeria, Lome in Togo, Luanda in Angola, Malabo in the Equatorial Guinea, Monrovia, Liberia, Nairobi, Kenya, Port Louis, Mauritius, Praia, Cape Verde, and Yaoundé, Cameroon. So if you are dating somebody in a relationship with somebody from those countries I just mentioned, you can continue to use those embassies for your K1 visa processing. But if you are dating somebody in Africa from a country that was not included in that list that I just mentioned, then you got to start considering where you want to process the K1 visa adjudication. I mean, it's no different really than like what happened to my beautiful wife Karina from Venezuela. She's from Venezuela, and people from Venezuela who are applying for K1 visas have to get adjudicated through the U.S. Embassy in Bogota, Colombia. Lucky for me, Karina already lived in Colombia, in Bogota, so it wasn't an issue. So when I filled out her K1 visa application, I put down there the consular processing will be held at the U.S. Embassy in Bogota. So before you file your K1 visa, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you are in a relationship with somebody from Africa, make sure you put down the embassy or consulate for adjudication of the K1 or the spousal visa in one of those countries I just mentioned. Thanks for watching the video, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I'm here to help you. I'm going to pull you over the finish line. We're going to yank you over the finish line, get you approved. And if you want to join as a member, you can join as a member to the channel. And if you join as a member, you get my phone number and my email address. You can call me, text me, and anytime you want. But remember, I'm not an immigration attorney. I don't give you legal advice, and I don't work for USCIS. USCIS, can you imagine working for those folks right now? Imagine the pressure they're under to do what the president wants. So Karina and I, we will see you at the next live stream. It's Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays at 6 p.m. Central. Sometimes I'll take a night off. And Karina just got a notice from immigration saying that her 10-year green card application has been accepted. So, but remember, Venezuela is one of those countries that's on a pause right now for adjudication. So even if when she makes it all the way through the process to the very end and they approve her 10-year green card, or whatever, they're going to approve it obviously from the package I put together, but they're going to hold off on adjudication all the while we have this pause in effect. Which is when in that case, that would be a time when you would want to hire an immigration attorney to take your case out of the hands of USCIS, put it in front of a federal judge, and let a federal judge make the decision. See you at the next live stream, and be patient during the process, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Be patient, patience. Patience is the key. Attention to detail. Don't make stupid mistakes. And if you want to talk to me on the phone, if you want to email me, want to chat with me, if you want me to give you some moral support, join as a member down here. Join as a member, and then you can get my phone number and email. See you at the next live stream.